Fellow Texans, hi, my name is Michael Paul. I'm a native Texan. I was born here in San Antonio, Texas, Kelly Air Force Base in 1968. I'm 50 years old, and 40 years of my life I've lived here in Texas, called this state my home. Well, fellow Texans, let me tell you something. We're in a state of age today. The year is 2018, soon to be 2019. And we find ourselves with the most corrupt government in the state that we've ever had in the history of Texas. Not only is our executive branch corrupt, but so is our judicial, and our legislative is impotent. They can pass laws, but it does no good when the judges don't enforce them, and both the executive and the judicial, break them constantly. Now, I've witnessed firsthand the graft and corruption in this state, and it starts at the very top. Our governor, Greg Abbott, used to be our attorney general. Let me tell you, he's a thief. Okay? I went through a divorce in 2001, and I was ordered by the court to pay child support, $190 a month. My wife was using the money to buy drugs for herself, buying cosmetics, going drinking. She wasn't spending it on my daughter. So after I made 2 payments to her and watched her squander the money away, I decided I wasn't going to pay anything else to her and let the state take care of my daughter and my wife, my ex-wife. So it ended up my ex-wife had my daughter taken away. I was never contacted by Child Protective Services. They knew where I was at. They had my address. They had my phone number. Never contacted me. I got a letter in the mail one day telling me that I was scheduled for a court hearing. I'd been appointed an attorney. I had represented myself in the entire divorce, from the very first, when I first filed it, until the final divorce decree. I never once was represented by a lawyer. I always represented myself. The state gave me a court-appointed lawyer. I didn't have a problem with that. What I had a problem with was them not letting me know when the hearing was and having a court hearing without me. The attorney stated he couldn't reach me, and I was not notified of the hearing. And Judge Sakai of the 225th District Court, Bexar County, decided to go ahead and continue anyways. Terminated my rights as a parent. Adopted my daughter to a single black lady. Now, I don't have anything against colored people, let me tell you. I had a lot of friends over the years that were colored and Hispanic, and I don't have any problems. In fact, they probably treat me better than some of my family ever did. So, but I digress. My daughter was adopted. My brother, a retired lieutenant colonel of the United States Air Force, married to a retired lieutenant colonel nurse. I tried to adopt my daughter, and the courts wouldn't have anything to do with it. They denied it, and adopted my daughter to this single lady anyways. So my rights were terminated. I owed 30 months of child support. At $190 is $5,700. So 2 months after the termination of my parental rights, that I didn't know about and got a letter in the mail, that I never signed the agreement and I never signed away my rights, but yet they just taken by the state, just taken, like I didn't have any to begin with. So 2 months after the order of the court for the termination of parental rights, our Attorney General at the time, Greg Abbott, sent a withholding order to Social Security to start garnishing my Social Security disability. I was in a major car accident in '96, and I am permanently 100% disabled. And I've been collecting Social Security disability because I've earned my 40 quarters. I get the disability insurance, not the Social Security insurance, the SSI. I get SSDI, which I earned, paid into. So the order was put through to collect $290 a month instead of $190, which was okay. It didn't leave me a lot to live on. I was only getting $560 at the time, so I only had like $210 to live on a month, maybe $230. So for those 3 years, I became homeless on the streets of San Antonio. couldn't live anywhere because I didn't have any money to pay any bills. So I slept on a lot of bus benches, a lot of hallways in apartment buildings in cold winter nights. Stayed away from the homeless shelters, the soup kitchens, the homeless people in the city. I just didn't feel like I should be subjected to that. I felt like more like I was homeless or houseless instead of homeless. I just didn't have a house. But I've always considered San Antonio, Texas, my home, so I never did feel homeless. And over those years, let me tell you, everybody in the community helped me. And I was really grateful for that help. So in 2009, I started volunteering with the Community Emergency Response Team to give back to the community for all the help that they've given me over the years. I thought I was going to give back to the community. Back in the 80s, I was a firefighter 1 with the California Department of Forestry, CDF, which is now CAL FIRE in the state of California. So I have prior state experience as a public servant. I worked for the state, and I was a first responder, firefighter. So I decided to join the Emergency Response Team, which is a department of FEMA, Homeland Security, for natural disasters to help the community in times of need. And nonprofit 501c3 association I'd started, registered as a volunteer fire department. So back to Greg Abbott. The order went through to collect $290 a month. So I couldn't stop it. They took what they were going to take. So I said, that's fine. If anything, I was going to pay it off sooner. 2008 comes around and the money's still being withheld from my Social Security. So I contacted Social Security in August and had them do an audit and verify who was getting the money and how much I had taken from me so far. The audit came back as $11,600 was withheld and paid to the state of Texas, to the Attorney General. I only owed $5,700, so almost $6,000, $5,900 was taken from me. I attempted to get it back by going through the administrative remedy first. I contacted the collections department in Austin, was told that there would be an investigation done and that I would be notified when the investigation was complete and what they found. 6 months later, I hadn't heard anything, so I called Austin again and spoke with the investigator. She informed me that the investigation was still underway, but it appeared that, yes, I was underpaid, or they overcollected, and that I would be getting a check sent to me in the mail. She couldn't say exactly when because the investigation wasn't completely closed yet. So I said, okay. Another 6 months went by. About that time, I decided to find out what was going on. So I contacted the Department of Collections again for Child Protective Services in Austin for back-owed child support. And it appeared that they were not going to send me a check. It was stated that the money had already been paid out because it was the year before, or it was by that time it had been over a year. So the money had already been paid out. There was no money to pay me, and I couldn't expect them to take the money from somebody else to pay me, which really didn't make any sense. So I contacted Social Security. They informed me that my only remedy was through the courts. So in 2012 or 2011, I filed in small claims court in Comal County because I reside in Comal County. And I was seeking back the $5,900 that was taken from me. And so I filed on the Attorney General, Greg Abbott, and had a court date set in Justice Court, JP2 in Comal County. An assistant attorney general shows up at the hearing claiming it should be dismissed for jurisdiction because the court didn't have the jurisdiction to hear the issue. And when I had